The year was 1884, and the world was enamored with the idea of exotic animals and cultures from far-off lands. In New York City, a wealthy entrepreneur by the name of John Williams had an idea that was sure to captivate audiences and make him even richer: a human zoo. At first, the idea seemed too audacious even for Williams, but the more he thought of it, the more convinced he became that the public would pay to see people from around the world in their natural habitats. Without a second thought, he invested all his fortune and began his search for exotic groups of people, from African tribes to Native Americans to Filipino tribes. But Williams' obsession with his human zoo was about to take a dark turn. His staff started to disappear one by one, and rumors started spreading of strange noises and screams coming from the cages at night. Some claimed to have seen deep scratches on the surface of the cages, as if someone or something was trying to claw their way out. The natives seemed to be the most disturbed, as if they were sensing something sinister in the air. They would chant and whistle strange songs at night, and often their cries would echo throughout the halls of the zoo. Eventually, Williams discovered the truth. His exhibits were cursed, and the zoo housed the spirits of the dead. In the end, no one knows what happened to Williams or his human zoo. Some say that the vengeful spirits of the natives devoured the staff and tore the cages apart, freeing themselves from their imprisoned hell. Others claim that the human zoo vanished into thin air and the surrounding area was engulfed by darkness, as if it was never there in the first place. But one thing's for sure: the spirits of Williams' exhibits still roam the area to this day, seeking vengeance on those who seek to exploit their culture and turn them into spectacles once again. And if you're brave enough to venture into that cursed land, you may just find yourself trapped in the human zoo forever. At first, they seemed disappointed. The only signs of life were a few dilapidated cages filled with mangy-looking monkeys and scruffy, underfed birds. But as they ventured deeper into the zoo, they began to hear strange whispers and rustlings coming from the shadows. Suddenly, a scream echoed through the air as a woman was snatched from behind by a large, hairy creature with eyes like glowing embers. The tourists watched in horrified fascination as the beast dragged her into the darkness, the sound of her screams slowly fading into silence. Desperate to escape, the remaining tourists tried to run back towards the entrance, but found themselves trapped in a maze-like labyrinth of cages and tunnels. Suddenly they heard a low growl behind them and turned to see a pack of wild-looking humans, bared teeth and bloodshot eyes, advancing towards them. As they huddled together in terror, the tourists realized too late that they were not visitors, but the latest additions to the human zoo. Trapped and alone, they could only scream and plead for mercy as the creatures closed in around them, their fate sealed for all eternity in the twisted, ever-expanding nightmare that was the human zoo. In the forgotten depths of an abandoned research facility lies a spine-chilling tale based on true events, where the line between sadistic experiments and horrific monstrosities is blurred beyond comprehension. Brace yourself for a journey into the human zoo, where terror is the only guarantor and freedom is an elusive dream. Once, nestled deep within a secluded forest, stood the notorious Brookhaven Research Facility. Its walls hid countless secrets that became the stuff of legend, and one story in particular still sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to hear it. A talented yet morally ambiguous scientist named Dr. Victor Prescott, driven by an insatiable need for knowledge, embarked on a sinister mission to understand the true depths of human nature. Disguised as a genuine study, he covertly transformed his research facility into a grotesque humanzoo. His intentions were unknown, but the unfortunate subjects of his experiments were captured without mercy, their lives condemned to a living hell within the confines of the facility. The townsfolk, wary of the grim rumors, whispered in hushed voices about the agonizing screams that echoed through the night. The zoo comprised a series of interconnected chambers, each hosting a bewildering array of human specimens, each more grotesque than the last. Some were subjected to bizarre physical transformations, twisted into nightmarish ghouls that reflected the depths of Dr. Prescott's sadistic desires. Others were tormented psychologically, driven to the brink of madness through cruel manipulation and sensory deprivation. As the years passed, the zoo gained a sinister reputation. Locals avoided the area, haunted by the harrowing tales whispered among those who dared venture too close. Rumors of creatures with distorted faces and torment-ridden voices haunted the nearby settlements, causing an uneasy tension to settle over the region. Those who attempted to free the prisoners from their maze-like cells found themselves entangled in a web of darkness. The facility seemed to morph and shift, confusing and disorienting any outsider who attempted rescue. Nightmarish creatures, once human and now monstrous, lurked in the shadows, carefully guarding their unnatural realm. It wasn't until a brave journalist, intrigued by the harrowing tales and determined to unveil the truth, stumbled upon Brookhaven Research Facility. Digging deeper, she discovered the horrifying extent of Dr. Prescott's deviant experiments and the tortured souls languishing within. Driven by a mix of empathy and justice, the journalist dedicated herself to exposing the truth to the world. Armed with her investigation, she carved a path through the labyrinthine horrors, ultimately confronting the deranged scientist himself. Their final confrontation unleashed a nightmarish battle between good and evil, as the true horrors of the human zoo were unleashed with frenzied fury. The journalist fought tooth and nail, daring to believe that hope could conquer unspeakable terror. Only when her unwavering determination clashed with Dr. Prescott's perverse genius did the curtain fall on the monstrous human zoo. Its abominations destroyed, its secrets unearthed, and its captives set free, the research facility stood empty, a mere relic of the horrors once contained within its walls. But even now, as the journalist's exposé circulates and the truth comes to light, whispers still echo among late-night conversations. Some remain skeptical, unable to comprehend such unthinkable acts, while others claim that the spirits of the tortured souls still roam the halls of Brookhaven, forever seeking redemption from a twisted fate. So, should you ever find yourself wandering the labyrinth of Brookhaven, spare a thought for the lost souls who suffered within its walls, for their stories remain etched in the scars of the human zoo. Thank you for engaging with our content. We'll be eagerly awaiting your return for the next spine-tingling video. Until then, stay curious and keep the lights on.